Okay. Whew. So, we are all here for this weekend. Want to have fun? Are we having fun? Woo! Right. Listen up a little bit, feel a little more confident. Okay. But the real reason we're here, right? We want to improve a part of our lives. Whether it's health, wellness, finances, relationships, what have you. We're all here for the same reason, to learn and to grow. So I want to ask you this. Oops, let me go one more slide. There we go. Raise your hand if one of these is true for you. Good job, 2 points. She's on the ball. So, each one of these things, I want you to raise your hand if you've tried to improve this part of your life at some point in your life. So raise your hand if you've tried to supplement your income, whether it's an MLM, direct marketing, a second job, a lot of us. Okay, raise your hand if you've gone on a diet, started a new workout, said you were going to drink a gallon of water a day, right? All done that. Have you ever joined a new church, or maybe a women's empowerment group, something new to kind of help refreshen your faith and your spirit? A lot of us here too, same thing, right? You ever decided to give more time to personal development? Go to conferences, do trainings, read more books, right? You've done that too. How many have left a toxic relationship?
Woo!
Woo! Damn,
Yeah.
good job, ladies. And this could be significant other, it can be friends, it can be family. Anybody in your life can be toxic. So that's fantastic. I love seeing that many hands raised. Yes, dear.
I left my phone on your table.
Oh.
No, other one.
Where's that? Oh, there it is.
Sorry.
It's okay. The whole point of this weekend is nothing's perfect. None of us are perfect.
Yeah, Jennifer.
It's going to go awry, and that's totally fine. Okay, raise your hand if you have left a job you hate. Your boss is micromanaging you, your coworkers kind of suck, right? You're just miserable in your job. How did you feel when you made that decision? Woo! Right? You felt probably re-energized, super confident, hopeful. You can throw out more words of something you felt.
Relief.
Relieved.
Stoked.
Right? So all this, maybe adrenaline's going through you. You're like, oh man, I am starting something new in my life. This feels good. No matter what it was, joining that new church or reading a personal development book. It's like, I'm a new person. I can't wait to start this new journey. How did people around you react? Were they uber excited, like, I cannot wait to hear about everything that you're doing. This is just, I'm ecstatic for you. Did they buy all your products and join your team? Were your family and friends like, oh my God, where do I sign up? Get me on your team. I want to buy everything you have. Tell me about it. Looks fantastic. Did they cheer on your weight loss?
Yes.
That's good. You're doing a great job. That's encouragement. Did they stop offering you cupcakes and cookies at family events?
No.
Did they make healthier foods because they knew you were coming and how hard you were trying? So now I want to think about if they're cheering on your weight loss, are they? Do they support your new spiritual growth? If you left a church, everybody that you knew was going to and went to a different one, did they support you? When you joined a women's empowerment, when you started some sort of a new something to uplift your spirit that was different from everybody around you? Did they respect your boundaries? When you cut people off, those toxic people in your life, did they respect the boundaries that you set?
Hello.
Or did you hear this instead? You know, that's a pyramid scheme, right? Those MLMs and direct sales, I would not do that. It's a pyramid scheme. They're going to take you from everything you have. They don't work. You're not buying your product. People are never going to buy that stuff. They can get that at Walmart for less than what you're charging for it. Why are they going to buy it from you? Did you hear, is it all natural? After they sucked on a 6-pack of Mountain Dew by noon and elbow deep in a bunch of Twinkies. Right? Is it all natural? I don't want anything unnatural in my body. Yeah. When you know their habits, they just stopped at McDonald's on their way home, but yet, I'm sorry, I can't put that in my body. It's not natural.
Someone get my cigarettes. I can't. But I don't want anything that's not natural.
Or have you heard this one? You don't need to lose weight, honey. You're fine. You're thinking, yeah, I'm fine. I want to be fine. Right? Sure, you're fine. You're overdoing this whole health kick thing. You're going a little crazy on the workouts. I'm starting to get concerned. You're drinking way too much water. You're dropping way too fast. And you know what? That's not healthy. I heard, right? And then fill in the blank. That group you joined, or that new church, sounds like a cult. I'm pretty sure all that praying you're doing is not to God. I'm pretty sure there is something else going on in that church, right? How can you just write somebody off? It's your dad, or it's your sister, or your best friend. Well, they beat you up last summer. Yeah, but they're still blood. Right? How dare you write somebody in your life that's toxic? How dare you write them off? How did you feel? A little different than when you started on this new journey? Right. So that's the thing is, we start these exciting new journeys, and people are right there to shatter our dreams, stomp on those goals. Not everybody. Of course, we all have our cheerleaders in our lives. But what do we focus on? The naysayers, the Debbie Downers, Walker Billies, right? We focus on those people. Your sister might be your biggest cheerleader. Hey, you're doing great. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, but did you hear what Mom said? Did you hear what she said? It really hurt my feelings. And guess what? I'm guilty. I will focus on that for 2 days over with somebody else as I'm doing a great job. So I'm going to teach you how to learn to deal with, come here, young lady. Learning to deal with assholes. So it's the only curse.
She hears worse.
Okay, good. We have one really young one here, so the reason why we're talking about this now is because over the course of this weekend, you're going to hear from amazing speakers who are going to help you grow and learn, health and wellness, success tips, all sorts of things, right? And the thing is if you can learn to get by or get past all the naysayers, Debbie Downers, and all the assholes in your life, it's going to be a lot easier for you to succeed, to do better, because you're going to be like, la 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 la, I don't hear you. But let's talk about this. Let's define asshole, okay, as it pertains to what we're talking about. Okay, your dad's name is not under the dictionary. Your ex-husband's not in the dictionary and they're asshole. We're not talking about toxic people. We're not talking about abusers, people who have abused you. That's a whole different level of asshole, okay? We're talking about daily assholes. A person who is inconsiderate or rude, they irritate, inconvenience, and cause you stress. These are the assholes I want you to address, okay? You're on your way to work, and guess what? An asshole cuts you off, right? You get a little bit of road rage, you're ticked off, they don't know how to drive, what an idiot, instantly bad mood, right? Because they just barely clip past you, and now your day is starting to go downhill quick. So I'm gonna go get coffee, I'll go through the drive-thru quick, I'll get my coffee, I'll feel better. You go through the drive-thru, you get your coffee, stick it in the console, you're driving to work, take a sip, guess what? Herbal tea. This is not my freaking coffee. The asshole at the coffee shop is gonna give me coffee. Right? So then we get to work. And that same coworker who likes to belittle you, micromanage you, is just right in your face all day, and you're just ready to scream. So by the time your day is done, you go home, you get to your husband, and you're like, oh my God, I swear to God, I won the asshole lottery today. They're coming out of the woodwork. I just changed slides there. Did you win the asshole lottery? You did. Right? So, this is what happens. You start your day, one thing happens that irritates you, gets on your nerves, puts you in a negative state of mind. What happens then is, that's where your focus is, that's the things you're going to notice. Any other day, if that car had cut you off and the barista gave you the wrong coffee, you'd be like, oh, okay, well this kind of stinks, but okay, whatever. right? You might have passed it off. But the thing is we stay so focused on that negativity, we carry it with us through the day. And in doing complaint-free, for my usual presentation, I've learned that negativity is contagious, it's chronic, it can cause health problems, and people around you will start to look at you as a chronically negative person, and guess what? Guess who they're going to be calling the asshole? You. You. Not me. No, of course not me. Okay, so here's the thing though. We cannot control other people's actions or behaviors, but we can control our reactions. So this is what I want to help you learn, is when something like that happens, try to let it go a little sooner. And it's going to be in your own way how you let that go. I'm completely guilty of hanging on to anger when something happens. I'll start vibrating, I'll get mad and go complain to my husband, or call my sister or Diane or somebody. You're not going to believe what just happened. Right? And then I want to vent, I want to complain, I want to talk about it. It's not solving the problem, and I'm staying in negativity. But when I realize I can't control my reaction, that changes things. Maybe you need to take, 10 good deep breaths. The other thing is changing your perspective. I'm going to go over this real quick too. Because dealing with assholes can be as easy as PI. PI stands for perception, intention, and expectation. These three things can help you get through that day without assuming everyone around you is a complete asshole. Because that's what we do. We don't do anything wrong. They have excuses, but we have reasons for why we do things. I was driving to work and I cut somebody off. Oh my gosh, I was just trying to get to work. Sorry, you're gonna wave. It's different when you do it to somebody else, but when they do it to you, it's an attack on our person, on our human being. So I want to tell you a quick story with these three things to keep in mind. When I read this story online, I should have remembered who the author was of this, but there's a lady who was on the subway, okay, and she's on her way to work. It's first thing in the morning. Everyone who's in the subway car with her is just relaxed. It's mellow. They're reading their papers. They're drinking their morning coffee. It's nice and quiet. All of a sudden, the doors open, and in comes a gentleman with 3 young kids. And the man sits down, puts his head back, and closes his eyes, while the 3 kids begin to terrorize everybody in the subway car. They're under the seats, they're climbing on stuff, they're being just obnoxious. And this lady's thinking, what is wrong with this guy? Her perception is, you're a crappy father. Watch your damn kids. We're having such a nice ride, and now all of a sudden, everything's disrupted. Intention. She assumed his intention was just to just block it out. I'm just gonna put, blinders on, let the kids do what they want, I don't care. That was the intention. Her expectation was, you need to watch your damn kids, right? So she got tired of it. She said, I just had enough. I tapped the gentleman on the shoulder, and I said, hey, would you please keep your kids under wraps? These kids are causing all kinds of havoc in the subway car. People are uncomfortable, they're frustrated. So the guy said, I'm really sorry. We just left the hospital. Their mother just passed away. Do you think her perception, intention, expectation changed like that?
Hi, Joey.
He loves that. But here's the thing. She didn't know the whole story. The kids didn't know how to react to what they were going through. The husband didn't know. I'm fine, I'm telling you guys. I'm not in water. Hang on. So, the thing is, until you understand somebody's full story, you don't know what's going on. It's easy to look at things on the surface, just like that situation, and say, I'm a crappy father. She might have gone to work that day not knowing the full story and been like, you won't believe what happened to self. What a jerk this guy was. His kids were obnoxious, not knowing that full story. So someone she would have deemed an asshole turned out was going through crisis. So let's talk about these individuals. So perception. It's an interpretation or an understanding. A collection of experiences from the day we were born that lend themselves in a way that we see the world and the people around us. I'm going to read that again. A collection of all of your experiences. Think about from the day you were born, every experience you've ever had, that lend themselves in the way that we see the world and the people around us. No two people are alike. There's nobody who has had exactly the same experiences. And yet, we assume everyone's supposed to act like us. Two people can come to this conference. One person can say, oh my God, that Wendy Babcock was amazing, we love her. Everyone says that. No. But then somebody can leave here and say, oh my God, she was awful. I didn't like her at all. She was weird, she made us dance. So perception, whatever happened in your lives up to that point makes such a difference in how you view everything. Intention, a thing intended, an aim or plan, a determination to act in a certain way, what one intends to do or bring about. This is the most mysterious in a way because we never know somebody's true intention. There's no way to know somebody's true intention. Even if they tell you, my intention wasn't to do that, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. You have two kids that are fighting. I'll use my own two children for an example.
We don't fight. What are you talking about? We don't
I'll
fight.
come in. Well, she hit me. She meant to do it, Mom. Well, maybe your kid's an asshole and meant to do it. Or maybe the first one hit the other one. Again, intention. Yeah, my girls never do that. They're perfect.
Never.
But it's the intentions behind it. Somebody can bump you in a crowd. And you might think, really, dude? Watch where you're going. What a jerk. You think he intended to bump into you. His intention was not to pay attention and bump into you. Really, he's just in a hurry to go somewhere. So the intention is something we can't actually know deep down about the people around us. But we assume it all the time. We assume the guy who cut us off in traffic knew exactly what he was doing. He had a personal vendetta against us. For whatever reason, he doesn't like the car I drive and thought, oh, I just cut that jerk off. Right? So we don't know the intention. Expectation is a strong belief of something that will happen, a belief that someone will or should achieve something. We hold people to expectations that haven't agreed to them. We want everyone to act like we do. We expect everyone to act like we do, even though, again, we've all been raised differently, we've all had different life experiences. When we walk in a place, especially when people have kids, we expect they're going to be raising their kids the same way we raised ours. The kids are running around, well, I would never allow that. Kids are sitting still at the table, well, can you see how stiff those kids are? I'd let them run around. So we all have different expectations. I had a lady not too long ago, I was running a women's empowerment group over Facebook. We meet once a month, and she sent me kind of a nasty email. And she says, I am so disappointed in you. I'm like, why? You have never once invited me to your women's empowerment group. I would expect more from you. You're toting all this confidence and empowerment. Why didn't you invite me? And I was just taken aback. And I thought, well, I put it on Facebook for everybody. I'm always saying everybody's invited. But she expected a personal invite. It wasn't my intention not to invite her. It wasn't my intention to exclude her, but she took it very personally. So she held me to an expectation that I didn't agree to. And I explained to her, but obviously, if you know, Facebook events, you can only invite so many people, so you invite the ones you think are actually going to come. So, expectation. So ask yourself this, are they really assholes? Or are they maybe just having a different experience than you? Okay, so how to get your sparkle up. So now we're going to move past that. So what I want you to do is, when you come across somebody who's irritating you, who's rude, who's inconveniencing your day, think about what PI stands for. Perception, intention, expectation. What was your perception of that person and why they did what they did? Did you assume their intention? Did you expect them to behave in a different manner? That might change your perspective and help you get over what it is a little quicker if you go through those three things. But sometimes, let's be honest, some people are just assholes, right? They intended to be a jerk. But I think you're going to find more times than not, your experience is just different than theirs. They might be having a hard day, you don't know that. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through some different things of how to get your sparkle up. So affirmations and visualization. Okay, talk about this. So affirmations, I also equate it to praying. Because think about those of you, if you're Christian and you pray for the positive. You pray for someone's health. You pray for their wellness. You pray for peace. You pray for the positive. That's all affirmations are. You're saying the positive, whatever it is you want to bring into your life. I explain to people, you will transition from I want to I have to I am. And those three things carry a lot of different weight. You could say, I want to be successful. So it's a goal. I want to be successful. I want it. It means you don't have it yet. You're coming from a place of scarcity. You still want it. Moving into, I have success. Even if it hasn't happened yet, you're still a step higher. You're still trying to think about, I have success. You're telling yourself, I have success. Saying, I am successful, you're owning it. You're saying, I am, it's part of my being. Everything through me says, I am successful. And so when you can graduate from I want to I have to I am, you're going to start seeing bigger changes in your life. Let's talk about visualization. This is a technique where you picture something that hasn't happened yet. People struggle with this, and I've seen this a lot. People go, well, how can I picture something that hasn't happened yet? It's actually easier than you think it is. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through a little exercise. Everybody close your eyes. Now I want you to picture this, okay? Imagine yourself in front of the tallest building in the world. Okay, you're on the sidewalk. You're looking up at the building. You're seeing all the storage. You can barely see the top of the building. Now, you walk through the front door of the building. You step in. There's people walking around the lobby. You make your way over to the left of you, which are some nice, beautiful gold elevators. You push the gold button for up. You wait for the elevator doors to open, and then they do. Doors open. Now you're stepping into the elevator. You push the 122nd floor of that building. Top floor of the building. The doors close. Now you feel yourself rising up and up. You're looking up at the numbers as they climb from floor to floor to floor. You're all the way up to the 50th floor now. And it keeps climbing. You can feel that sensation in your stomach as you get higher and higher as you're going up in this elevator. Now you reach the 90th floor, the 91st, 92nd. You almost feel the building sway in a way because you're so high up in that building. And then ding, the door opens. You step out, you're on the skydeck. You can feel the wind blowing in your face. You feel the floor underneath you just slightly shifting because of the wind and the height that you're at. You see a railing across you. You start walking towards that railing. Your legs are shaky. Your stomach is nervous. You reach out and put your hands on that railing. You're touching the railing and you step up and you start to look over. You see clouds and people and BAM! I shove you! Open your eyes. Now, when I shoved you, did you scare the crap out of you? Did you feel like you were going to fall? Did you fall? No. Were you 122 stories in the air? No. Did you feel the feeling like you do in an elevator? Did you visualize exactly what it would look like to you in an elevator? That's visualization. You're emoting emotion with what you're visualizing. You can do this in any situation that you want. If you want to buy a new car, here's the thing, when I first learned about laws of attraction and all that, I think everyone jumps in like, I wish for a new car. I have a new car in my driveway. I have a new car in my driveway. Look in the driveway, no car. Well, this crap doesn't work. That's not what it's about. And I'll explain that a little bit. But the visualization is adding emotion to the vision of what you want to happen in your life. You picture yourself driving that car down the road. You picture yourself walking into that perfect home that you've always dreamt of. You have to be very specific when you do affirmations and visualization. It's not that hard to do at all, as you just seen. Just because I was dictating it doesn't mean that you can't do that yourself. You could write a story out yourself of exactly where you want to see yourself in life. What does success look like for you? What does your perfect relationship look like for you? These are things that you can incorporate. Get into your bubble. Okay? And what I mean by this is negative things are going to happen. It's going to happen. You're going to have trauma. You're going to have bad things in your life. But there has to be a part of your life where, a part in the back of your mind, where you hold all those fantastic memories, every compliment you've ever given or been given, that happy place that you go to. And if you haven't had the best life, you can create this place. Maybe it's on a beach somewhere. But you have to form that bubble around you for all your happy things, all your happy thoughts. Think about Peter Pan. Has anyone ever correlated the story of Peter Pan to the laws of attraction? Think happy thoughts and you can fly. It's the same thing. It's an affirmation. I believe I can fly. And then they added fairy dust. The original story, by the way, did not have fairy dust included. They added that in because little kids thought they could fly. My niece was one of them, that's my sister. I watched the movie with my niece, and I had left, and my sister's like, oh my gosh, she actually climbed up on the bookcase and was about to jump off. So they added fairy dust, so these kids thought, okay, you can't actually fly without fairy dust. But getting into that bubble protects you. Think of no matter where you have to go, if something bad happens to you, if you can get into that space where you're happy, where you have all those good memories, maybe someone gave you a compliment 20 years ago that you still hang on to, that's your bubble. And then being grateful. Being grateful goes a long way. So here's the thing. So if you're having a bad day, this is what I've learned to do. If I'm having a bad day, things are not going quite the way I wanted them to do, just look around and be grateful for literally every single thing that's in front of you. I'm grateful for this coffee cup that's holding my coffee this morning. It sounds silly, but it shifts your mindset and makes you think differently. It gets you unfocused off that negative thing that happened. You know, your mom calls you, drives you crazy, or you're like ready to smash something. I'm thankful I have this glass to smash. Let's start there. Start there. You have to start somewhere. Just get into that bubble and be grateful. Now, when my girls were growing up and they had something that was weighing on them that they couldn't solve, I would tell them, put that in a bubble and throw it away. I like the bubble scenario. And they still remember that too. And find your people. This is what's really important. When you start getting rid of the negativity in your life, and you're going to see this happen, when you change things for the better in your life, and you've had it, you're dealt with the toxic people in your life, you are going to find your people, your tribe, those people you've been searching for your entire life. They're going to be basically pounding on your door, coming to you. You're going to get rid of all that negativity, and you're going to feel alone at first. It doesn't happen all at once. You might feel a little alone, like, did I make the right decision? Did I get rid of these people? You know, am I doing the right thing, improving my life? Because my friends aren't talking to me anymore. Because they might not be in the same path as you, and that's really difficult. If anybody in here who's ever changed something about themselves, like the first things we went through on the list, a new diet, a side job, you're going to see who your true friends are. Who's your cheerleaders? Who's there for you regardless? Even if they don't have to buy the product, they don't have to go to the same church as you, but if they're still listening, they're cheering you on, those are your people. Those are the ones that are always going to have your back. And when you get rid of that negativity, that's what happens, is it kind of opens up your eyes to people that maybe have been there all along. So this is where I want to go with, when we talk about like the laws of attraction, this is what people do a lot, they see this all the time. Same with praying, whether it's, you want to, whatever everyone has a different belief, whichever entity, okay, but I believe in God. And here's the thing. If I sit and I pray for a new car, and I don't see it in the driveway the next day, I'm not going to say, what a lousy God that is. Here's the thing. You have to look at what is coming to you. Is the right slide there? Okay. Because you're going to learn to sparkle, literally, where the sun don't shine, and you're going to see things show up, and you have to pay attention to those things. He may not give you that brand new car, but if your eyes are open, you're going to find opportunities that might help you afford to buy that new car. If If you want a better relationship, Mr. Right's not just gonna show up at your front door, unless you're a really good-looking mailman. My daughter's dating mailman, so I said that. So, if you learn to find the positives, push out the negatives, ignore the assholes, change your perception, stop assuming attention, push away all your expectations, your life is going to change in a huge way. And you will learn to sparkle in